is Nancy Wamboi Kinyongo. I was born in Mukarara. I went to school in Gaduthi Primary School, because at first my disability was not recognized. My parents couldn't think I have a problem. They had not recognized until I got to class 3. When I started becoming active at home, this is when I started stepping on things, kicking things. So they started understanding that there is a problem. But at first they thought I was careless. My dad used to beat me because they thought I was walking carelessly. Then in class I could do the best. I could get the best marks when I copied the work from the book. But when the teacher could give me the work from the blackboard, I could write my things. So the teachers thought I was rude because my mother was a teacher there. I got that challenge. I could be taken back to my mother's class. They thought I wanted to be nursed by my mom, but they never recognized I had a problem until one teacher beat me. I went to hospital. I was admitted to PGH. That is when my problem was recognized.
So it's not something you were born with? I
was born with. It is inborn.
Oh, it's inborn.
It is inborn.
Oh, okay.
But my parents didn't think it was a problem because there was nobody in my family who had a visual impairment. They have never seen it in their family. So nobody could think about that.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about your condition and its name?
Yeah, my condition, it was congenital visual impairment because I don't have an iris. So without an iris, I couldn't be able. I was short-sighted and I didn't have iris. So I couldn't walk when there was sunny. I had a problem with light. So later on, I was operated on because the lens was being burned. The lens was removed. I was done lesothomy, and that is how I went back to class. I went back to class in Dika Primary School for the blind. I was admitted as a boarder now there. Now I was trained to read the braille because at that time I couldn't read the sighted thing. My sight was very low. And I led braille until class 5. And then when I started reading the printed books, I was taken back to the Tetu Girls to start the integration unit. I was a pioneer in Kenya for the integration unit. So I was taken to Tetu Girls Primary School in Nyeri, and that is where I started my school. I did my KCPE and I did pass. I performed very well. I was called to Moi Equator Girls, but I couldn't go there because of my low vision. I went to the high school for the blind. That is where I completed my secondary school. And then later I sat at home. Unfortunately, those years, parents didn't think people with disability were going far, they had any need to be educated far. So my mom said, stay at home. I am not going to take you to a college. What am I taking you to college to do? So I sat here. And that is how I decided. Later I ran away. I escaped from home. I ran away and got married to a man I had a relationship with for just 3 weeks. It was a 3-week relationship, and then I ran away. I just wanted to start my life. I went there, then it became a relationship. I came back home and went to college. That is when I went to college. That is when my sister, who was in Kenyatta, she's called Alice, who is younger than me. Now, she took me she had seen the people with disability. Now she was in Kenyatta University. Now she had seen people with disability can lead, they can do things. Now she was exposed. Now she asked me, what can you do? Can you do a course? And I said, yes, I can. She tested me with a business first. I did a business for 5 months. Then when she saw I can do something, she took me to Kenyatta Rehabilitation Center in Nairobi. That is where I did my reception course. Then I went to KCCT. That is now the Communication Technology University in Nairobi. Now, that is when I went there to do my diploma in communication, telecommunication. Then I came back to Nyeri. When I came back to Nyeri, I was employed by Wangari Maathai, Greenbelt. I volunteered. By the way, I don't know how I started. It was just something that came inside me. Before I was employed by Wangari Maathai, something that came inside me. I felt the environment in Tetu, people are killing people with disability. They don't have awareness. I had gotten exposure in Nairobi now to know what can I help. How can I help people with disability. I came with that awareness now. And I wanted everybody to know about people with disability. They should be given opportunity. I had faced things because I couldn't understand my family. I didn't know, even myself, I didn't know if they loved me. I didn't know if they understood my problem. We could always have those differences. So I knew many people were facing the same challenge. So I went loud. I started going loud, the homes with people with disability, and started educating the families. I went to churches voluntarily now. I didn't have anybody to sponsor me. I voluntarily went there, started teaching people in church how to accept people with disability, how the benefit of accepting them. Because personally I believe when a person has disability, the biggest disability you can have is the psychological part of you. It makes you, even when you can do something, it makes you doubly disabled because you don't have the psychological part of you. That is my belief, and that is what I knew. So I went there, I taught them. People started getting that awareness. And I did that for 1 year. Then in 2007, Wangari Maathai absorbed me in her program for Greenbelt. She started sponsoring me to go that route. She used to give me 4,800 every month. But I used to go loud in the Tetu. I won't tell you, I used to go walk by foot even from here to the Gaine, to Geshera, all the way, all out Tetu, I used to go by foot. Because in the 4,000 I'm being given, remember that is where I'm getting the financial support for my children. That is where I'm getting the family support. That is where I'm supporting myself in everything. Now, in 2007, I worked with Wangari to 2007, 2008, 2009. Then I moved out a bit. I started giving frontiers, details, my data to the social development programs, the administration programs. I used to give those data for people with disability for that benefit. And that is how I was both absorbed in government in 2012. I started working with the government. Now I'm not about disability, but now I was absorbed as a person with disability now in the government, permanent, temporarily. Then in 2014, I became permanent and pensionable in government, but I do the support staff. I cleaning in the offices in Wamagana. And that is how I started supporting my children personally, independently. Now, it was a challenge. It was challenging to get there. It was the biggest challenge in my life. I'm a mother of 4 children, 3 boys and 1 daughter. My firstborn son is called Martin Kenyongo. He's away from here today. He's on a Sunday. He's out of the compound. The second born is Kennedy. And by coincidence, the firstborn is not in any way affected by the visual impairment. The secondborn was affected. He's Kennedy, my son, and the thirdborn was my daughter. The thirdborn was also affected by my congenital problem. She inherited that problem of visual impairment. She's Eunice Wairimu. They have named her after my mother. And the fourthborn was not affected. He's Ian. He's not affected in visual impairment. So the two has the problem. The two don't have any problem for visual impairment. Kennedy started getting disturbed with his sight in 2014, 2015. It got worse. So we went for operation in 2015. 2015 he was operated on the second, that was the second operation. That was the second operation, the major one. The first one was rhestotomy.
Okay.
That was when he was in class 2, allowed class 2. Then he was done the main operation in 2015. That is the one which brought the glaucoma problem.
In the healthy eye,
a clear fluid flows through the anterior segment at the front of the eye, nourishing tissues. At the open angle where the cornea and iris meet, the fluid flows through a spongy meshwork and leaves the eye. But if it passes through too slowly, pressure inside the eye rises to a level that damages the optic nerve, resulting in vision loss due to open-angle glaucoma. Untreated, the vision loss progresses from normal vision and no pain to gradual loss of peripheral or side vision and eventually total vision loss.
Can you see even a little bit? And you can also tell us about the kind of challenges you've been going through?
Yeah. Actually, me personally, I can see a meter or something, I can see a little bit. I can read some when the book is very near, very close to my sight. The large print, I can read them. But when they are far, I can't see. When you are far, I can see you standing, but I can't recognize you. So that is also a challenge I have been having, by the way. Even at work, when I'm in my social life, when you find somebody wants you to understand, they don't understand you as not seeing them. So when you pass them, they want you to greet them first. But have you known that person, you didn't recognize them? So that person tells you, you always pass me, but you don't greet me. So me, I have learned to accept my condition, and I became very real with it. And I tell people, if you don't talk about to me, you are the one who is seen, not me. So that's why my friends came to understand me, and the community at large. By the way, I'm very free. Even when the small children, they will pass you and ask you, why are you closing your eyes? You're walking when you're closing your eyes. I tell them, that is how God created me, my dear. You have big eyes than me, and that is how God created you. You become ready. They are able to ask you a question. So when you ask for them, whenever you want a help, even when you are far from your family, they'll be able to assist you. And that is how I've learned to accept it, my condition. And it is good. Personally, I really appreciate the fact that I accepted my condition, because I have been able to raise my children accepting their condition and without many challenges about their environment, because people have accepted me. So when they see them, they are able to know that is the Wambui's children. They are able to understand them that way. So the first thing I usually tell people is accepting your condition. That is the biggest. And I want to tell you, it is not very easy. People think it is easy to accept your condition. It is not easy, because you feel like you are denied everything allowed you, everybody. You don't have freedom. You are a prisoner. You're like when you have disability, you are like a prisoner. You want somebody to guide you, but you cannot organize yourself at your own pace, because you'll go to the other people's schedule and fix yourself there, because you don't have that freedom, because you have to rely on them. And that is one challenge that we have been personally I faced, especially when I needed a guide. And now as a family, now they have come to understand me. Now when they want me, because we are many now, they are able to assist me, and I don't face any challenge. There are that time, even when I'm working, even now I'm at work, there's that time I'll get my sight has gone very low, and I want somebody to guide me. I will take somebody and go to Amagana with that person. And nobody will recognize that I have a problem, I faced any problem, because my family is there to help me. And that is one thing I really appreciate about them. And another problem that I have personally, as a mother, now the biggest challenge is that now I have 2 children with visual impairment. And unfortunately, when they were done operation, they both got the glaucoma problem. And I manage them with the medicine. The medicine are very expensive. He uses more than 5,000. She uses 3,800 medicine. So you find that every time my salary is almost going to the medication side. Now I get the challenge to educating them. They're in college. The firstborn is in college. The secondborn is in college. She's in secondary. I find that is where I personally face the biggest challenge, because my salary is not very big. I have a mother. I have a sister to care for. You have many responsibilities that I'm given that surrounds me as a person. And when you are the only person maybe in that family, you just find you are there. You are there. You have to just be responsible. Whether you have a disability or not, you have to be responsible. And that is the biggest problem that I have for medication, for my children. That is the biggest challenge that I face. Because sometimes even you don't have. Sometimes I even find myself, I have concentrated with their medication. Because sometimes when I am buying medicine, they also have to go for clinic. During the clinic, I even have to look for a loan, because you have go there, the NHIF, maybe the the security program are not catering for those conditions. You have to do them personally. So you find yourself, you are financially drained. Sometimes I even find I don't have something to eat at home. But because I mostly the financial status, the ability nimeielekeza huko yote. So that is my biggest challenge.
Is there any other kind of challenge you're going through, maybe like when you're traveling or taking care of your kids here at home?
The main challenge is mobility. The biggest challenge is mobility. Because now I have to go to work, they have to go to school. Like the girl, Eunice, she traveled all the way to Mother Queen. So I have to find somebody who is also who don't have a problem. They escort each other. They are escorted. She's escorted in the morning. They get contact with the person who is going to guide her in the morning and in the evening when they're coming back. Yeah.
And what kind of help, Nancy, would you need?
Maybe personally, maybe I would say the financial support, especially for medication of my daughter and my son, and maybe in their education a bit. Yeah.
And Kennedy, can you kindly tell us briefly about the kind of challenges you've been going through, and maybe the kind of help you would also need?
Okay, thank you. My name is Kennedy, Maina boy. I'm a second born in this family, and currently I'm doing diploma in social work. I started my schooling at the primary at the integrated school. Then I went to HIDE. After completing HIDE on 2021, I joined Nyeri National Polytechnic at 2021 September, where I did my certificate and completed in the year 2024 July. One of the most challenges I faced is that during my schooling time, the teachers lacked the designed teaching program, and that suited me to see on the blackboards as a narrow vision of 6/60 acute. So I could not easily focus on what the teachers trained on the blackboard, such in subjects like mathematics and accounting. But I still managed. The challenges is that now that I've completed, you see, when you are looking for internship and attachment, you face some rejection, but some are preferable. Yeah. But on the side of medication, I've walked the journey, but still there is challenges in when the medicine lack. There would be some the sites get to drop. Yeah.
So mostly it's about finances because of the drugs?
The drug.
Okay.
But I've currently, during my attachment period, I was being in an informal education from the Pamagana agricultural officer. So I learned some agricultural skills. I also have undertaken ICT short course. So if I'm empowered on such a project, I would at least manage to finance my medication.
Eunice, take this moment to tell us a little bit about yourself and the challenges you've been going through.
So thank you. I'm Eunice Wairemo. I'm the third born. The kind of challenges I've been facing is mostly at school, where maybe I'm studying and the teacher is writing notes on the board. So you find that the teacher is writing a bit faster than me, and so when I'm almost half the board, he's almost done with the other side. So he comes to labs, I have to skip that part, then I write the other side. Maybe I won't be done, and so mostly I don't write notes when the teacher is writing on the board. The other challenge is when I'm at school, sometimes my head aches due to my eye condition. This mostly leads to me not going to school. So I most of the times don't go to school. So you find teachers that teachers are actually teachers think that I'm notorious or misbehaving, or I don't want to be at school. So some challenges also come with the teachers, and they are rude at you. You try to explain, they don't understand. So the help I would like to get is in medication.
Okay.
So because sometimes mom doesn't have the financial stability, you find that we don't have medications. So my headaches when I don't use the medication. So most of the times I'm out of school. So instead of medication, I would really ask for financial support from mom.
Kennedy, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your achievements.
Okay, thank you. One of my greatest achievements was joining the TVET institution, that is the Nyeri National Polytechnic, where I pursued social community development, which was the course of my desire. And during the training session, I was selected the special need minister in the institution, where I represented people with disability. And I also excelled perfectly in my social community development course with a distinction, and I graduated last week on Friday.
Beautiful. Back to you, Nancy.
Yes.
Is there any other kind of help you would love from the Dhima project?
Yes, totally. Anybody who is feeling this, I would like financial support, because most of my financials, I use them in my students' medication. I have to, sometimes I staff here, and I have my mother who is eating. She's diabetic, and my sister who is also eating. She's staying with me. I'm also supporting her, my sister's daughter, in her education. She's in Form 4, and she's depending on me. So anybody who will feel touched to help, you'll be of great help, my people.
So are you there wondering how you can participate or what you can do? The Dhima project is registered as a 501c3 here in the US. So we are tax exempt. All donations are tax exempt. The organization is also registered in Kenya. There is a number, an M-Pesa number that you can send donations to, and a bank account that you can send monies to. The monies are accounted for, and our books at Dhima are open to all our donors. So feel free to ask for clarification of what happened to your donation. So we are accountable, and we shall do our best to account for every dollar, for every shilling donated to the Dhima project. It will go to the intended use. That is our promise to you.
Our beloved donors, we are thankful for the continued support. Anyone who's listened about Nancy's, Kennedy's, and Eunice's story, it's one of great achievements, goals, and dreams. We would love for you to help us, soar them higher with their dreams and goals. We totally appreciate what you're doing, and we ask you for more support. Finances for education and medication. Thank you so much. Blessings.